Hey guys, in today's video I will be doing a Eastern Pacific Tropics update. Now disturbance 1, that's the farthest west here of all of the disturbances, is now Tropical Depression 3E. I'm doing this video actually as well with Jonathan. You saw in yesterday's video that we talked about the hurricane season potentially starting early, maybe within the next 5 years or so. Let's honestly hope for that, in all honesty. So we have Tropical Depression 3E here, and we have the Disturbance 2, which has a 30% chance of forming within the next 2 to 5 days.
Unfortunately, potentially be stumped, but as you see, colder waters as it moves.
Yep. Yeah, it says a system will move westward at about 50 miles per hour before it moves over cooler waters. But then Disturbance 3 has an 80% chance of forming, 60 to 80% chance of forming within the next 2 to 5 days. And this one will most likely be the next name formed after this one for the Eastern Pacific.
Which puts that at...
Which would have... 3E would be tropical... If it will become tropical, which the NHC does think it will, it'll be named Boris. And then I think the C name for Eastern Pacific is something like Christina. So that will most likely be what Disturbance 3 becomes. And then I think Disturbance 4, we'll have to give it some more time, but I think it could potentially be named as well. We'll just have to see about that.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually, here's the current long wave IR images of this, of Tropical Depression 3. Yep. And you can see it does look generally very healthy. It does have a lot of convection around it. I believe the center, I'd say, is probably covered, more or less covered by convection.
Yeah. As of right now, as you guys can see, there's not a lot of visible rotation, but that is likely to change over the next probably a couple of days as the storm gets more organized.
Especially probably by tomorrow, we'll see this a lot more circulated, a lot better circulated.
Most definitely.
Now let's look at what the GFS is saying. The 12Z is continuing to come in, though I think it will go out far enough so I can show you all three systems. I know we'll be able to show you the first and second system at the least. And you can see the GFS has the system strengthening as it heads farther west.
Yep. Right now
getting down to 998, 997. And then it'll start weakening and dissipate. So it'll probably last 3 to 5 days. Yeah, 3 to 5 days or so. The second system, you can see, really just isn't shown developing at all. It'll most likely dissipate, really, just stay as general showers and such. Then here's the third system. Heads north.
And it looks as though it shows it developing, possibly.
It does show it developing
briefly.
Pretty briefly. Doesn't show. The GFS is starting to show it becoming a little weaker than it has before, but could become a weak to maybe moderate tropical storm at most.
Yes.
And then
now, of course, this conclusion for this one is also supported by the European model as well, which is a fairly reputable model.
European model, we can go to here. We can show the vorticity for the systems on Tropical Tidbits.
To show it too.
We could do that. So here's the vorticity for the first system. You can see the Euro does show really good vorticity for it as we get towards Friday, the June 26th. So that's a good sign. And then third system, it also does show decent vorticity for it. Not as good as the first system, but
it is, from this view, it does appear to be showing it forming a little bit earlier than GFS.
And maybe forming a little farther to the south.
That's what I mean, farther south. So that would give it much more time to strengthen. So we could be looking at potentially a maybe low-end hurricane.
Yeah, if
it has enough time.
Yeah, and if it does take a more southerly direction.
For sure.
Let's show what the European is actually showing with its precipitation on pivotal weather.
Again, while this loads, as I'm sure all of you know, this is all about direction. I mean, if this storm moves too far north, we've got the colder waters off of California, very well known for that. So if it moves too far north, we're going to get it into those colder waters, and it won't be able to sustain development. Because hurricanes, I believe it's typically about 85 degrees. needed.
Can I not go?
80,
Oh, I
85
don't think we can show. I don't think we can show the East Pac with the Euro.
Ah, darn.
With the precipitation, unfortunately. Sorry
All
about
right,
that,
but-
guys. But
Yeah,
we can show you what the CMC is showing
that's true.
for the precipitation. Let's take this back to. Actually, we can take this back here.
let's
It's actually just coming in now, but
Here, let's just switch to 060 run. For
all right,
now.
yeah. For now, we'll use the. Oh
Or
shoot, that
000.
is, yeah. The Euro and CMC both only come out every 12 hours. So this is a 000 run. It shows the first system agreeing with the GFS, developing a good bit, probably becoming a tropical storm, probably weak to maybe moderate if it really tries to take advantage. But the second system doesn't really showing it strengthening that much. But then the third system also agrees with the GFS.
Yeah. Now going back, CMC is showing actually probably the lowest pressure yet. If we scroll
That's right.
back a couple
If
days.
we actually let's zoom in on the screen here so you guys can take a better look at how what it shows.
Yeah, I mean it's showing it
Shows,
getting down to 999, which is definitely much more decent than the GFS. Or
I think the
Euro.
GFS was showing getting down to just around 999.
Let's
So
compare it real quick. We can check ours.
yeah.
So it
Let's
looks
move
like
that
the
out.
GFS is saying
Getting down 999. Yeah. So yeah, the CMC and GFS are both agreeing on the fact that this third disturbance will form and become pretty strong.
Definitely.
And then the CMC actually shows it making landfall between Baja California and the west coast of Mexico. We're just going right through the very southern parts of the Baja California waters here. I don't know what it's actually called, but I'm blanking on it. Do
Gulf of
you remember?
California?
Is it Gulf of California?
I believe so.
Might be, yeah.
Here, I'll just look real quick. I believe it's Gulf of California.
It's not really showing that potential fourth system forming yet, but that could change, of course, in the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, this is all up in the air right now. We're only talking models here. This is definitely
That's right.
not by all means a forecast. We're just
Yeah.
discussing what we think.
Though, honestly, for right now, we pretty much can guarantee that at least the first system will be our next named storm for the Eastern Pacific.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, because it does show, the NEC does show it forming really within the next day and a half, so.
Yeah, definitely. And that's very close, close enough to almost say it's certain.
Yep.
And actually, oh wait, that's 2019. Where's Star Nature 2020? Actually, this year's that's 2019, 2020.
Here, I'll look it up on here.
Yeah.
2020. We're going to show you the
Yes, it is
Wikipedia
Boris
page
and Christina.
for. Okay, I was right. The Wikipedia page for the Pacific hurricane season,
Of course, as you all remember, we've already had Amanda,
which formed very briefly here at the end of May.
yes, before turning into Barry.
Cristobal.
Cristobal. That's right.
Cristobal for the Atlantic. Amanda's remnants became Cristobal in the Atlantic, which was very interesting. It was technically a crossover storm.
Yeah.
And then here's Tropical Depression 3E, as it's shown. And once Tropical Depression 3E does become a tropical storm, it will be named Boris. The second disturbance most likely won't be named, but the third disturbance most likely will, so it will be named Christina within the next few days. And then we'll see about Douglas.
Yeah, that might take a little while longer.
Yeah, but we
really
can
depends.
guarantee probably Boris and Christina, really.
Most definitely, yeah. I think,
this point.
especially Boris.
Yeah.
Christina, it's kind of up
Christina
in the air about
will
which
probably,
one,
yeah,
but,
we'll probably have to wait another day or two.
Conditions are definitely very favorable.
Yeah.
Because as you guys probably know, we have a Kelvin wave over the Pacific.
Yes, which will move into the Atlantic by Saturday.
Yes, and we'll actually clear out or move in just in time for the Saharan dust to begin clearing out of the Atlantic. So,
And so, because of that, it seems the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season will pretty much be uninterrupted as it looks right now with the development. Because really the Saharan dust was thankfully so far south that
most definitely.
what's it called? Dolly was not impacted by it at all. And that was actually very strange where Dolly formed, but it's all good. The power of the Gulf Stream, as we all know.
Yes, indeed.
The we'll just quickly look at the Atlantic hurricane season's Wikipedia page, and you can see we're already through our first 4 named storms. We already have 5 deaths already for the Atlantic hurricane season this year, and above $543 million already. So we're nearing that $1 billion mark, surprisingly quickly.
Halfway.
Yeah. And by the way, just to end it here, just real quick, talking about the potential of that more development in the Atlantic. I believe I would say Edward. The next Edward will most likely form around July 5th to 7th, as of right now, with what the GFS is showing.
Yep.
We can actually look at that
sure.
real quick here. We'll go to the Western Atlantic. Let's go to GFS. I don't think it goes far enough out, so we're going to have to use the 6Z run from earlier this morning. But you can see, go through the end of June. You can see the precipitation gets a lot, there's a lot more precipitation for the Caribbean and Gulf because of the Kelvin wave moving in there. And then you can see here it is. It starts around June 3rd, actually. Starts to try and get organized around June 3rd. And then the low pressure center starts to try and form towards Independence Day.
Incidentally, it looks as though the GFS is kind of hinting that we may see another transfer of energy, which would definitely be interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's right, with this, yeah.
We can see there's a storm down there, and then it transfers energy.
Then goes there, and it shows it actually shows this system getting pretty strong, getting down to below 1,000 millibars, I believe, 999 for right now.
We can zoom in more on the south real quick.
Yeah, let's see.
Southeast.
Southeast, yeah. Yeah, 999 as of right now. That's what the GFS is showing. Of course, this will change since
Most
this is
definitely.
moderate. This is moderately far out.
Yeah, definitely. This is about
at this point, moderately to far out, way far out. So.
Yeah, about 10 days out. 15 days out. So somewhere between 10 and 15.
So yeah, this is getting towards the extended range. This will, of course, definitely change, but the GFS is hinting once again for more activity in the Atlantic, and once again going from the Caribbean into the Gulf, which we have seen so much of already.
Oh, for sure. And to be fair, it's definitely a good thing to watch the GFS this year, because surprisingly, the GFS has been quite accurate with hinting at stuff. I mean, it's very true. Pretty much most of the stuff.
GFS, I have to say, nailed Arthur and Bertha, and
for sure.
was honestly the best with Cristobal, I have to say, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems as though for whatever year, I don't know if it's a fluke this year, but we're having some good luck with the GFS.
Yeah, so European is trying to come back, but
yeah,
could be GFS trying to really show its dominance over the European this year. But yeah, this was really Eastern Pacific update with the tropical activity, and hopefully you enjoyed this real quick update with the Atlantic at the end here. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Tomorrow. See ya.